insane plot leak that is circulating around the internet right now. As I've mentioned in a few of my other videos, the marketing for Avengers Endgame has started and is about to be in full effect. So we'll be finding out a little bit more about Avengers Endgame as the full marketing kicks off. And we've gotten some plot leaks in the past, however, we know that they've shown Avengers Endgame to some people, not just any person off the street, but some of the teams that were involved with the movie. For example, a team over in Japan who works with Marvel Studios and worked on the movie has been shown basically the full film. The film's editing is obviously not complete, so some people have seen an incomplete version of the movie. But they've seen enough to write reviews on them. So as more people see the movie, we can expect more leaks online. And like I said, this leak is pretty crazy and sounds like something I could definitely see happen in the movie. However, we have no idea of knowing if this is real or not, so take it with a grain of salt. I've seen this online and a few people have sent it to me as well, and since then it has been taken down. It also does line up with what a few people in the film industry have told me about the plot points of Avengers Endgame. So you never really know, but again, take it with a grain of salt. The plot leak starts with funerals taking place all over the world as the missing people are being tallied. A cleanly shaved Captain America takes a moment to address the world to assure them of their safety. Thor goes to learn more about his new weapon Stormbreaker, and the rest of the Avengers are given some hope by the arrival of Ant-Man and Captain Marvel. There's an awkward introduction as she wants to talk to Nick Fury. She doesn't trust the team in front of her. But she then realizes that Captain America is the Captain America and she begins to trust them. With a spaceship, Rocket thinks he could get the Avengers to Thanos. Meanwhile, Tony and Nebula still in space are unsure of what to do, but they still want to make their way to Thanos. Tony thinks Thor is already dead and assumes half of the other Avengers are too. They barely arrive to Titan II, the planet that Thanos is on, barely in shape to fight. Thanos takes pity on them, feeds them, and tempts Stark with a gauntlet, taking it off and putting it in front of him. Thanos asks Tony Stark, if you could do anything, would you bring them back? Would you bring someone else back? They talk about pain and undoing it. Nebula chimes in saying that she would undo everything that Thanos has done to her, and Thanos mocks her saying that she'd be all the weaker for it. Tony is now holding the gauntlet and we see a flashback of him talking to his father, but Stark can't bring himself to do anything with the gauntlet. Nebula goes for it and her and Thanos begin to fight and he easily overpowers her. Tony, now tempted with the Infinity Gauntlet again, puts it on and snaps his fingers with it. We then go to a scene where Tony is graduating and his mother and father are there hugging him. He is happy, having a great moment with them. Obadiah Stane walks up and starts joking how Tony will be running the show soon. Tony has a hard time holding a smile and looks at Stane. It then flashes to Tony as an old man, wearing regal looking armor and the gauntlet in a fortress guarded by robots. One turns to him and looks and speaks like Ultron. We come back to the present, Tony looking at Thanos and Nebula, and Thanos mocks Stark how with all that power he couldn't do it. Thanos then sends Nebula and Tony to Earth. They meet up with Pepper, who's happy to see Tony, and they hear the Avengers have already left to fight Thanos. The Avengers arrive on Titan II, but they are no match for Thanos and all 6 Infinity Stones. Thanos ends up sending the Avengers back to Earth as well, and there is a very tense reunion with Cap and Tony. Tony explains how he tried to bring everybody back with the gauntlet, but he couldn't, and he doubts that anyone else could, but Thor argues that his will simply wasn't strong enough. They figure you have to want it more than anything else, and none of them are so pure they could do it, and it's doubtful Thanos would let them try. Rocket explains about how it took a team to control the Power Stone. They conclude that they would need dozens of people with the same goal wielding the gauntlet to bring everybody back. It seems impossible in 3 dimensions. They figure if it were done across space/time, it would be possible. They devise a plan to implant in every Avenger to hold the gauntlet at different points in time to want to bring everybody back. The entire plan, unfortunately, focuses on having the gauntlet again. They start arguing about time travel, setting up the condition to win before they have what they need. They realize they have to fight Thanos again, but they've tried everything. Bruce Banner shrugs and says, maybe not everything. Bruce says that he's come up with a plan to have him fight Thanos alone. He will control the Hulk with a procedure he was working on. Some of the Avengers start traveling through time to set up places to bring everybody back and undo Thanos' snap. Banner, who seems to be alone, goes back to Titan II. He has a talk with Thanos and he says he doesn't think he could do anything with the gauntlet, he just really wants a rematch. Thanos and Smart Hulk duke it out. Meanwhile, the Avengers are traveling through time looking for candidates, large gatherings of themselves, and trustworthy allies. We see multiple cameos of past Avengers and even future Avengers, including Captain America, Tony Stark, Thor, and the Guardians of the Galaxy. Thanos defeats Smart Hulk, and Banner talks about his condition, and Thanos then offers to remedy it to ease his pain and separates Hulk and Banner into two different people using the Infinity Gauntlet. Banner doesn't believe it at first and stares at Thanos, screams out in rage, and nothing. The Hulk is quietly looking at Banner and is dumbfounded, looking sad, then turns to Thanos and screams in rage and tackles him. Then Captain Marvel and Thor converge with the Hulk. All of them working together, they manage to cut Thanos' arm off with Stormbreaker, freeing the gauntlet, and Rocket snatches it up. The Avengers begin to use the gauntlet to transfer it to all points in time. Everyone using the gauntlet together, thinking of everyone they've ever fought for and hoping they all get a fair chance in life. So, that's the plot leak, and like I said, it's pretty crazy. I would love to see that all happen on screen. And like I said, there's no way of really knowing if this is legitimate or not, but there are a few things in this plot leak that line up with some things that I've been told by some people who work inside of the filmmaking industry. And the main thing is that there will be 3 different dimensions in the movie and that the Avengers will see different versions of themselves through different points in time, which is all in this plot leak. Another thing that I think makes a lot of sense is the fact that Tony and Nebula go to Titan 2 to find Thanos at first, as well as the remaining Avengers also go to Titan 2 to try and fight Thanos at first as well. This makes sense to me because I don't think the Avengers' first thought will be time travel. I think their first thought to undo the snap will be to get the Infinity Gauntlet away from Thanos and use it to undo the snap. But of course, Thanos has the Infinity Gauntlet with all of the Infinity Stones, so there'll be no match for him. And that's when they try to use time travel. And the way they use time travel to use other Avengers to hold the Infinity Gauntlet makes a lot of sense as well. Because if the Avengers go back in time to collect the Infinity Stones, they're going to seriously affect the future. Vision might not ever be made, and the Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver might not ever get powers. There's just too much that could go wrong if you try to alter the past to change the future. So this does make a lot of sense, and I would love to see this plot play out on screen. But let me know what you all thought about this supposed plot leak. Is this something that you would like to see in Avengers Endgame? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And just a reminder, I'm doing an IMAX ticket giveaway. If you'd like to enter for your chance to win 5 IMAX tickets so you and some friends can go see Avengers Endgame in theaters, all you have to do is subscribe to my channel with the notifications turned on, like the video, and comment down below with your thoughts and your favorite superhero or villain. And be sure to subscribe so you can stay up to date on everything relating to Avengers Endgame and all things Marvel. As always, thank you all so much for watching.